Hey guys, welcome back. I know what you're saying. We were just talking about this, but there are updates already. We pretty much know everything at this point, or after you watch this video, you will pretty much know everything at this point about the stolen hits, both the Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies images that surfaced. I didn't plan on making a video today since we have a Moonbrio on stream tonight. But this is some pretty important stuff. This is some pretty breaking news, and we have to at least attempt to quench the nonsense rumors that are spreading worse than ever. So if you haven't watched the last video, I suggest you do so. I'll put a link to that down below, along with a link to the how Pokemon cards are made kind of recent video. I'll put up top here. There should be a clickable thing as well, but if it's not there, I forgot or it's broken, and you'll have to go down in the description. So first image here, we have the Table of Doom. As we mentioned in the previous video, all of these cards were seized. No, so people are, I think they're concerned for the wrong reason. And they're concerned that these were taken out of packs. I speculated, and I showed some pretty solid evidence indicating the fact that it's almost impossible for these to be stolen at the point where they're being put into packs and no one to realize it, because of the way that the cards are seeded. And there's even more evidence, guys. So, you know what? I like to think that I'm always right about everything, but you just got to, we have to go in assuming the most likely scenario, and that's going to be the correct answer most of the time. What is it? Occam's razor? Was that what that's called? The most sensible or likely solution is probably the solution, or probably what went on here. That's what we got. So, all right. Now, we got the table full of hits. Awesome. Those were seized. We got the Lap Umbreons and Rayquazas. I had 69,000 people send me this image and saying like, hey, there's where all your Umbreons went. No, they didn't. We're going to pull one tonight. I'm going to show you guys. But this was the same perp. This was the same case, same incident, essentially. These were also seized. Spoiler alert for stuff that we're going to see later in the video. We also saw this whole rack here, this whole row of Mew VMAX Rainbow Doggers. These, again, this was in relation to the game store that we covered in the previous video. Same thing. So a lot of people were surprised when this video surfaced, but this is more of just the same. This isn't like a separate incident or anything like that. These are all related to the same criminal who decided he was going to steal from work. And it's weird. All the people that are like always arguing that stuff isn't stolen, even they weren't arguing, at least to my knowledge, that any of this stuff, they knew it was stolen. There's no way you could physically pull that many Mew VMAXs from packs, no matter what. So we knew that from the get-go. Pokemon World put out a statement. This was released shortly after I recorded my video, but it just kind of reassures that they were assisting with the investigation, that they never purchased the cards, etc. So maybe we'll come back and read this through at the end of the video, but I want to cover the more important stuff first. And we'll get through that. So if you haven't watched it, the video that I have on the printing process, the Pokemon printing process in modern times, you're going to want to watch that. And again, I linked it in the previous video. But what we see here is this is the final step. So it's right out in the middle of the floor here. This is where they feed the cards into the machines. They're specific cards. You can see here they're numbered. It indicates which cards that are supposed to go into each one of these feeders. And this is the system that automates and that sends everything through and packages your cards. So the person that's loading this they're not able to put 20,000 cards, which is what was speculated was stolen, total quantity. I don't know what the exact number is. No one could give me the exact number, but it was more than what we saw on the table. It was the table, plus we saw the Mews. It spread out a little bit from what I gather, but essentially there's no way that someone's just standing out here that's loading these bad boys up, and they're sticking these long sleeved boxes into their clothing or something like that. So that told me, and people don't seem to understand this. Maybe I didn't do a good job explaining it, but someone that's standing here that's loading these things is not able to steal that many cards. It's just not possible. They got whole boxes, as we saw in the previous stuff. So awesome. We'll get back to, I guess we can let this one. Do we want to look at the crotch shot for the explanation here? We got a lot of details to go through. So everything, once again, it all occurred from late 2021 until a couple weeks ago. Please, for the love of God, don't listen to the nonsense that is going around. I was correct again. I usually am, because I when I'm saying anything, when I'm making any sort of educated guess on anything whatsoever, I have to be almost certain that I'm correct. So it's very likely that I'm going to end up correct. Again, we just got to go with what makes sense, what common sense says. If we know the process, if we know what's going on here, we have to use that common sense. But now we have even more evidence to back that up. I need you guys to stop. Please, for the love of God, don't listen to the G-baller clickbait idiots. You know the ones, the guy that deep throats Funko Pops, and the other one that like is pretending to be Pokerev, that purchase and don't think there's anything wrong with purchasing stolen product. I know, great big moral dilemma, and then they'll make videos about this stuff. I didn't even bother to watch it. It's nothing of value. You have to assume that anything that's coming out of their mouths is fake nonsense. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your content, when you're choosing who to watch on this stuff. There's certain people that are going to tell you what you want to hear. There's certain people that are going to sensationalize anything to make this sound like it's something that it's not. And there's others that are just going to give you the actual facts and details, at least to the best of their ability. So with the last time, there was missing information, and I'm surprised that I gathered as much as I have here. But yeah, the guys, don't listen to those guys. They're going to spout nonsense, and it's going to be whatever you want to hear, whatever's going to get the most clicks. I'm sure they don't even believe themselves if they rewatch their own video. So I'm here to give you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it in this specific case. If you still think your Fusion Strike packs were rigged, you're straight up wrong at this point. Before, I guess you could have a shadow of a doubt, but at this point in time, I've gathered so much information, heard from so many different people about what happened to the cards. Most of them were destroyed. All of it was caught beforehand. And if you still think so, after watching this video, if you can manage to watch it in its entirety, I tried, but I can't help you. You're just looking for an answer that's not there. You want to be told that you're a victim or something and that your packs were rigged, and that's why you didn't pull anything. Man, I think Pokemon needs to require some people take like a probability course or something like that before they're allowed to open booster packs. It blows my mind. Anyway, so getting to the point here. This isn't the place to listen to 30 seconds of made-up crap on TikTok. My apologies to the short attention span gang who will never know exactly what went on here. So before we get into this, I hear a lot of people, they're like, oh yeah, but Rattle, your sources, you didn't even state them all. You don't have a work cited down below. Guys, I can't always exactly say exactly who was telling me what. I'm going to tell you here where I got all my information for this video, all my additional information, and it's going to be a little bit vague. That's what we're dealing with here. I talked to people who, several people who assisted with the investigation. I talked to the people who actually performed the investigation. I talked to people from the print facility who know exactly how it operates. I will, again, have to avoid some specifics, but just know that everything I'm providing lines up entirely with all the other stories from all these very credible sources. There's no reason for any of them to lie to me in any way. It's important that I don't burn bridges here, or I don't want to get anyone in trouble for helping me out with this. I do, however, think it's important that all this information is available for everyone. Again, I'm a huge proponent in like public information. People deserve to know what's going on here. Otherwise, I mean, people are pretty upset and think that everyone was wronged in some way. I'm here to tell you that you weren't wronged. And I'm sure there's somebody typing down below. They're furious. They're saying I'm a Pokemon company shill. I'm not. I think Pokemon needs to crack down on this more than ever. I think they have, from what I'm hearing, put some more procedures in place. I think they did a good job here. Anyone that's expecting the Pokemon company to make a statement on this is delusional. They don't. They never make statements on stuff like this. I'm surprised they even made a statement on the regional incident that happened. And even that was basically, it might as well not even have been a statement because it didn't say anything. So that's just how they operate. That's how it goes. But But yeah, the Pokemon company, community rather, deserves answers, and it should be a learning lesson on stolen cards for everyone, for people who might think it's a good idea to steal or even buy stolen cards in the future. I told you guys time and time again that this was coming. It's going to be bad. You're going to get prosecuted and or you're going to get legal trouble. You're going to lose your job if you don't go to jail, if you don't end up with a criminal record because you stole Pokemon cards. Usually when it's a couple cards in a pocket, maybe a little less serious than what we're looking at here, where this is ridiculous. This is an insane amount. This is, if you wanted to give the Pokemon company a reason on why you're damaging their company, this is it. So it's their reputation. It's everything involved. Like the damages, just the rumors and everything else that were circulating around, are gigantic. It's ridiculous how much. I don't even want to. I don't even know how you even come up with a number, but it would be just gigantic. So again, not so worried about the products, the packs themselves, but the fact that if this many, like if that many Mew VMAX Rainbow Rares just popped up out of nowhere onto the market, that would absolutely destroy the value of that card. And who does it hurt? It hurts you. If you open one, it hurts anyone that bought one as a single before the price crash, because there's a jillion of them that would just be tossed onto the market all at the same time. It's bad. It's all around bad. So, all right, the actual details. This is what I have. Promise, guys, reputable. Super reputable to the extreme. I know that's not going to suffice for some people, but again, this is what we have. One of the employees at the print facility actually recorded the person stealing the stuff, which is pretty interesting. That a coworker, you got to be a little bit careful with that, because I can't imagine in any world you're allowed to actually record. I'd be surprised if you were even allowed to have your phone on the floor anywhere where there is product, etc. But I'm not sure exactly on what the rules are. Most important part, the person who stole all this stuff has been busted and the investigation is now closed. So I was a little bit concerned with sharing information. I don't want to provide the wrongdoers with information, even though there's a lot of this stuff that's circulated already. A lot of it was wrong information, just based on the few pictures and I guess the video that surfaced. But it shouldn't be a surprise that someone was recently arrested for the stolen items. Man, I don't know how you make it any worse on yourself than what happened here. This is as bad as it gets. Like, short of stealing the equipment or something like that, I don't even know how you outdo the acts that were performed here. So the majority, and the vast majority of the stolen cards were retrieved, which I think is the most important part. And yes, the intention was that the Pokemon company was going to have them destroyed, or the print facility was going to have them destroyed. That's the best solution here. I don't like seeing trading cards destroyed in any way, but when they've been replaced so that they could go into the packs, it's best if they're destroyed, because this is just going to tank the market if all of a sudden you just double, I would say like a full print run worth of hits, just like slapped in onto the market would just destroy it. And that ruins it for everyone. I know some people are going to argue like, no, cheap cards are better. But at the same time, that hurts anyone that paid retail price for a pack and pulled any of these cards. Or had a chance of pulling any of the cards, because the expected value. We're not going to get into that, the economics of how that's going to hurt. It hurts everyone. It hurts everyone that's a collector, essentially, or anyone that owns the cards. So the majority of the cards were retrieved, and that includes some that were recovered only a couple weeks ago. So this was definitely a long pressed ongoing investigation that is now closed. To the best of my knowledge, everything is resolved at this point in time. And the people performing the investigation were told that suffice. They got enough of it back, problem solved. And hopefully it's a learning lesson for everyone that's working there. Hopefully it's a learning lesson for, they need to beef up the security a little bit here. It's pretty ridiculous that you get out with this many cards, but again, they caught the person. Surely you would like to think, I mean, the turnover is probably pretty high in a job like that, but hopefully the rest of the people that are working there see this, and maybe there's more training, and like they see what the result is of stealing cards like this. So the print facility caught on to the fact that the chase cards were stolen. Again, I speculated on this. I said I was almost certain that the print facility or that the retail packs were not affected by the theft, and they weren't. They were not affected, confirmed by multiple sources. Even if the cards were stolen from the seeding/packaging process that we've seen on here, the seeders, they have to have a certain amount of cards in them. The packs have to have a certain amount of cards in them. They're all weighed out and packaged electronically, so there's no chance that someone took that many cards from these feeders off the floor, just standing out in the middle of the floor here, and no one noticed it. But also, someone else. So we have to assume that someone else would have been loading these feeders and noticed the missing cards for that hopper. You can see on the hoppers themselves, we're going to call them hoppers. It's basically a hopper. Feeders, whatever you want to call it. There's designated cards that go in each of those slots, and those are the ones that assembly line here is going to assemble the packs. So one of these is going to have the hits in them, and it's going to insert them every so often. It's all automatically generated. Someone would have been loading these feeders and noticed the missing cards for that hopper. If they run out of cards that are designated for any of the hoppers, the entire automated line stops until the cards are replaced or filled back up. The print facility would and did notice that they were short on certain boxes. I mean, you can't just take all the hits out of there, the sheer amount of hits that they took, and think that no one else is going to realize that hey, I don't have any for hopper number 8 or whatever. So not only that, the Evolving Skies lap photo was a related incident. I've confirmed that from multiple sources. It's also been resolved and retrieved. From everything that I hear, Pokemon Who now owns Millennium. We got like some little bonus information here. Pokemon Who now owns Millennium. I had a video on that at one point. They're not messing around. So it was probably more to do with financial reasons that they purchased Millennium Print Group. And so that they could do everything in under one roof. Clearly, it's cheaper to print your own cards, essentially. And I'm kind of surprised that Pokemon at some point didn't have the ability to print their own cards and open their own facility. But anyway, they own it now. They own Millennium. And if someone is caught stealing, they are definitely getting prosecuted. Everything Pokemon is now being printed by Millennium. I think they also do Topps, Fleer, Yu-Gi-Oh, some other stuff like that. So it's kind of weird that they're doing like competing card games and sports cards, etc. But yeah, interesting enough. It's still run as a separate company. So, all right. So I've seen some nonsense going around, and it's come up a few times. We're going to touch on this. I figured while we were investigating, we might as well look into CGC, who likes to grade stolen cards. The inadvertent early release labels, as they would like to call them. And people have speculated this is in order to assist with investigations like this, usually with unreleased product. But every reliable source that I've talked to has confirmed that is not the case. So they're just doing their own thing, and I guess they don't think it's their responsibility. But I'm here to say that they should be. They should be absolutely cooperating with and assisting with any of this stuff that leads to preventing theft, instead of creating labels that if somebody from CGC disagrees with that and can like show me something that proves otherwise, I'm happy to look at it and retract what I said there. But from anyone that I've talked to, either who's taking part in the investigations, etc., they have no clue what any of that is about. I mean, CGC has never made that statement directly, but to hear it from everyone else that they had nothing to do with it is pretty wild. So that's all I got, guys. So that's it. That's all. It's under wraps. Thankfully, almost all of the cards were obtained and destroyed. The market is safe. We don't have another Gold Star Dog incident where Fusion Strike is just worth nothing. The hits from Fusion Strike would be worth nothing. Potentially, it would suck too. Evolving Skies, The thing that Evolving Skies, there's been so much of it printed, but the thing that keeps Evolving Skies is the fact that there's so many chase cards and they're so hard to pull. And just to think that somebody could have ended up ruining that, had the investigators and everyone else not come together in order to close this down. But that's it. Join the Discord. See you guys tonight for a Moonbryon. If you're watching this for a Moonbryon hunt, we're going to pull a Moonbryon tonight. I can feel it. Join the Discord. See you guys next time. Bye.